JW,
Yes.
you know what time it is.
Time for a show. It's the
There you go.
path. It's the path to Phantasm. Figure we could have played Highway to Hell. That would also work, like for music lead in.
You gonna pay for that?
No, no. I'm just saying we could have played it.
Okay.
This is exciting. This is kind of cool. This is a very big festival, a very big con. They have a lot of movies coming up for the Shock Reel Cinema. It's going to be a great weekend in Orlando.
It definitely is. We got some comments already. Otis B. Dreads. Thank you for joining us this evening, sir. If you don't know who Otis is, he has a new show with Rick on Wednesday nights, I believe. We're going to get into that more a little later, though, because Amy
Interesting.
Rolston's here and she knows all about that stuff. But do you just want to jump into things? How you want to work? We didn't really discuss what we were going to do.
I think we were talking about just kind of like not winging it, but like getting everybody in and seeing how the water is, and then figuring everything. I think we should probably, though, if we're going to start, we probably need to start with the guy who's in charge of the whole con. Don't we need to start there?
We should probably do that. So you want to introduce the gentleman?
Well, yeah, I mean, the owner of Fantasm Orlando. Please welcome Tony Greco.
Tony! How you
doing?
Hey.
I hope it's Greco and not Greco.
It's Greco, but that's fine. It's fine.
God damn it.
Fine. Because it all the time. It's not a problem.
How can you screw up the first thing you get, Joe?
Were you thinking of Richard Greco? I mean, it's
yes,
not like he hasn't
exactly
been on here 1,000 times.
Yes,
so.
I was going if looks could kill Richard Greco. Absolutely.
Yes. It's all good. Hey, Jamie. Yeah, no problem.
Jamie Hill is also on the Indie Escape Network. She's also the star of this summer's big indie hit Skinamarink. So we're happy to have Jamie on the network. And Ken McKernan is always watching our shows. We appreciate everything Ken does. Tony, you got a big festival coming up. Are you excited? Yeah. You're only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, we can change, and it's our fourth year, so we're looking forward to it. It's always a busy time. Everyone's busting their backsides to get it all ready, and we're just excited for it. Let's bring it on.
Just getting all the machetes in a row,
right?
Making sure all the pumpkins are properly spaced. But this is the third year you're doing. This is the fourth year you're doing it. But the third year.
Yep.
But the one not continuously because of COVID, right?
Correct. Yeah. 2019 was our first year.
My question for you is, what led you down this path where you're like, I desperately need, or we need something you're looking for, this kind of con where it's more personal, a little bit closer to everybody coming in and meeting, and not as big as the other cons, but not as impersonal as the other cons either.
Right, because I used to go to all the Star Trek cons in the 80s and 90s and things like that, and other horror cons that were smaller, more intimate. You talk to the people more, less commercial, less big, less crowded, less jammed. Just more not family oriented, but more family oriented. I don't know if that makes much sense. Just a smaller.
Just the idea that a family can afford to go.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it's not so much, that it's not. Well, yeah, like you've got the bigger shows like MegaCons and the convention center shows that are just enormous. You can't move. It's just herding. Everyone says the saying is herding cats.
It's like herding cats. It's also like you're looking for signs like asking you to get out of here. You're like the yikes sign from the Roadrunner. But so when you build this con and you've made all these attachments to all these like incredible indie horror film people, what I've noticed and what is a trend that I think is really interesting and impressive for you as a person promoting this con, people come back year after year. Yeah. So it's not like, sometimes you watch the bigger cons, people don't come, they come once and then they skip it for 5-6 years. And maybe they come back again. So I just think it's a testament to how well you're running this particular con that people are coming back again and again and again.
Well, we also, they like the attention. They like that they're treated just as big as the big, giant studios and things like that. And plus, the films that are coming to us and the shows that are coming to us, they like the festival that we put on and things like that. And the person in charge of that is indispensable. So they really like
that is a perfect segue, Tony.
Yes, it is.
Joe, I feel like he's been on podcasts and stuff before. I think it would be great to bring Shelly in, who's head of the Shock Reel Cinema Film Festival.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Shelly from the Shock Reel.
Hi, everyone.
Festival.
There she is.
Got some great posters on the wall, and that immediately makes me like her even more, even though I haven't met her yet.
Well, that's, what already made me like you, as you mentioned Skinamara. I cannot pronounce it worth anything. I was like, oh, wait, someone who stars is in this chat? Okay, that's awesome.
She's actually part of our network. She's
on our network
on Thursday nights.
Yeah, as a person who, and I know Rick, I know he's in the chat. Hi, Jamie. What I love about going to these different, hi, Ken. Now I feel like I have to say hi to everyone and stop. Hi,
I'm not done. Hold on.
Yeah, there's tons of people to say hi to.
I know, but I feel rude if I don't. What I like about our festival, and even our film festival specifically, is a lot of times you go to conventions. And for me, what I personally love is, obviously I like the celebrities, but I love seeing the films. And sometimes what I've noticed is at conventions versus, a regular film festival, sometimes the film festival people, filmmakers kind of get treated like as an accessory, which they are, but not given as much love as probably other festival, like a regular traditional film festival. And I know, that's kind of the biggest thing is, I love meeting all the filmmakers. Every year it gets better, and I get to meet different people. But
Shelly, I want to give you some huge compliments. I think one of the things you got that is a great thing that you got, I was, like, as somebody who's doing research on these things, when we're doing, like, Joe asked me to do a show, sit in and be able to ask questions and talk. I read through like 100 comments today, 4 pages of comments on the Shock Reel Cinema Film Festival. And every single one of them, Shelly, mentions you. Oh. Every single one is like, she's the nicest. I've never had more experience. She was so nice. Like they walked us through every step. The guy from Wisconsin, super nice. Just like, I happened to be in Orlando the same week when we got accepted. And it's like, but it's one of those things where I think what you and Tony have built together, right? Bringing a con together with a film festival, it's kind of like a perfect symbiotic relationship, isn't it? Like,
that's exactly how I've always felt like it. And I really feel like filmmakers with a convention wise, especially horror filmmakers, we're all a little bit weirdos and quirky and all that. We've all been involved in these things, and just seeing the creativity, especially like I've loved underground film. I go to places like Cinema Wasteland just to see some random look. I see Joe's look on his face. And I'll go to other cons and just to see different types of things, because the movies you can see are so out there that you couldn't even imagine, and different talent degrees. But like, and we all know how it is, and they put all this work into it. The least I could do is be appreciative and understand and give them the praise they all deserve, because it's not easy to do a film, not easy to do a convention show. Same with the authors. And I mean, that's the one thing I always notice at convention shows sometimes is they forget about the filmmakers as much just because of that. So I don't know. I just want to make
we were shocked. Joe and I were shocked to learn today that one of the movies that we've been exposed to on the Indie Escape Network is that's the movie. Yeah. It's coming to your festival this year. I think it's got a 2 p.m. slot on Sunday, is what we were told.
Yes, and we have some of the cast and crew showing up to it as well.
Yeah, we've met them. That's going to be a trip for your con goers. Oh, they're a handful.
We got a whole bunch of crazy people. I know you'll talk about Harlow's Haunt later, but we have them on Saturday night, and I know Rick's in the chat. And Amy's on here. The clock is showing on Saturday at noon. So, and then Friday we even have like Slaughter Beach, which is from New Jersey. So there's a lot of different things, and those are just some of the features. but what we try to do is just go out there and find stuff between local and just ones that are a little offbeat and quirky that you may have not seen. We've got some with some Scream Queen in some of our short films that are showing this week during the
Rick Danforth says The Clock.
Thank
and
you.
Otis dreads The Clock.
I started talking and I forgot about mentioning the film. Rick's gonna kill me.
No, that's okay. I mean, I think one of the amazing things about again, you guys have the film festival going, you have the con going, and yeah, I'm sorry, Joe.
Oh no, I was just waving to Kelly.
Okay,
hi, Kelly. So we make sure we say hi to her after I've said hi.
I'm sorry. I thought you were telling me to shut the fuck up. I'm sorry.
Hey, by the way,
shut
JW, shut the hell up.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
We're going to HorrorCon. I feel it's that.
I mean, we got to start bringing other people on.
Yeah.
Well, no, filmmakers. We should bring in Amy and we should bring in Terry.
Yes.
What about Ashley?
Awesome.
Well, Ashley. Okay, bring in all three of them. I don't care. This is a full boat tonight, Joe. Just bring them all in.
What is this, amateur hour?
No, just bring everybody in. Jesus.
Well, let's get the whole Phantasm crew first, and then...
No, it was my fault. I started segueing already to the films.
I was, with regards to amateur hour, Joe, I was just segueing based on what the people wanted. Tony, I was paying attention. I'm listening like an improv player. I'm working, yes, and
Ashley, welcome to the show.
Hello, Ashley.
Hello, Ashley.
So Ashley, tell everybody what you do with Phantasm, because you apparently wear many hats as well.
I do. So I am the head of social media marketing. I do a lot of the graphics currently, as well as like the cool stuff. The cool stuff on our websites and our TikTok. Speaking of, make sure that you're following us. So hi, Kevin. Because we have a lot of really cool things. It's actually really nice. I've actually been doing social media for over a decade. And the people that do horror conventions, they're just a whole nother level, especially when it comes to social media. Like everybody just wants to be a part of something. And I mean that in the best way, honestly, the best way, because everybody's very passionate about horror movies and making sure that people know what's going on.
And that's the thing. Like, the interesting thing is, like, when you do a horror con and it becomes a personal con, does the marketing get easier when it's something like a con that's less impersonal? Does it get, like, to the point where, like, people are so attached? You have all these people that know you by name, or bring on Ashley and all these things in our chat. So everybody kind of knows you by name and knows what you're working on. That's got to be a little bit better than working on some large impersonal con, right?
It really is. Last year was my first year doing Phantasm, and I was so grateful for it because I was actually a handler. And it's gotten to the point that I just do social media to do it, honestly. Like, I love it, everything about it. And like, I'll be at the bar hanging out with my friends, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, are you Ashley Draven?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. Hi, hello."
So wait a minute. Whose handler were you last year?
I was Tyler Main's handler, and he is incredible.
He is the nicest guy you will ever meet, even nicer than me.
Literally,
right? No, he was Sabretooth. I don't know. I don't like Sabretooth.
What?
He's mean. Sabretooth's a jerk.
Rude.
That is rude.
No, Sabretooth's me. I'm just saying Sabretooth. I have a Tyler Main action figure. I'm okay. I'm just joking.
But how do you have a Tyler Main action figure? Of what character, or as
Sabretooth?
Oh,
okay. So
somebody to fight with. Come on, this is easy stuff. Gotta have somebody to fight with.
You had a different one other than Sabretooth. If maybe, I don't know, he was a wrestler.
I had a bunch of them.
He had a wrestler.
Oh, he was a wrestler too. Also, you could also probably have a Michael Myers figure at some point. You know what
That's
I mean?
what I was gonna say.
That's what we should all said.
But it's okay. I'm the nerd. I'm wearing the superhero shirt. It's my fault. It's okay. I'm stream of consciousness. Everything's cool. I love Tyler Main. I love his work. And I was just kidding about Sabretooth being.
No, you're good.
I mean, Sabretooth
also, Fedor Steer was incredible. I got to sit with him for a little bit last year as well. It's his fault that I'm here. You're welcome.
Give me one moment. JW, take over for a second. I got a technical difficulty here.
Okay,
I was going to say, I thought Bill Slevin was going to tell us something's going on at Joe's place with how
I was waiting for it.
We've got an interesting story about Bill and what was the other cat's name, JW?
Mark Muncy, who does Erie, Florida.
Okay, let's bring Bill
Let's bring Bill in because Bill can talk about it a little bit and be like, there's got to be some sort of like actual name for like time convergence stuff.
And I don't want to keep Amy and Terry waiting too long, but we got to get to the story, and then we will bring them up as well. Mr. Bill Slevin, how are you, sir?
All right, how you doing?
Excellent.
Wow. Okay. It's good to see you again, Bill. We're going to tell the quick story because everybody, because we go to con, Joe and I have just started going to cons together, and this will be our second con. We got to interview Bill at a con.
I've been going to them all along.
Okay. Together.
Are you going to hold my hand and skip with me next time?
Well, if you promise to buy me flowers, sure. The thing is, what I would say is, we did a thing where we were doing a talk with Bill and we were doing a talk with Mark Muncy, and they were at this haunted cabin or whatever the haunted cabin was or whatever the storyline behind this camp was. And we did a video that we sent to the entire Indie Escape Network, universe. And then we did a video with Mark a little later in the day, different time frame. They both ended at the exact same amount of time in minutes and seconds.
Yes.
Is there some sort of paranormal investigator term for that kind of a time convergence thing?
No, I think that's just me and Mark kind of, coming maybe from another dimension together.
Yeah, just flipping me out. Okay. But that was a little con. This is a little bit bigger con. Are you excited about getting to this con, Fantasm Orlando?
Oh, I love Fantasm. I've been there the last 2 years, actually. This will be my third year. So I'm a celebrity guest on the paranormal side, but I'm also the head of the paranormal department. So I try to organize a little more paranormal into the horror convention. So
that's super cool. I didn't know that. Joe probably knew it. Joe knows everything. He's super professional. I'm just kind of like guy wearing a Batman shirt, just hanging out.
I have a great time at Fantasm. Last year, we had a great setup there with Joe and Chris, and they'll be there again this year. And it's it's always a lot of fun. Like you said, it's more intimate there. I mean, we get to talk to a lot of people. We have a ton of panels going on there because we have Chris McKennell again. We have Joe Frankie. We have Heather Lee, who's she's an author and an investigator, and also Connie, who is one of my team members, but also is just a very gifted person in the paranormal field. And
if there was 3 panels that you're looking forward to the most, that people should flock to go to, or do you have 1 or 2 or 3 that you can drop a little bit of hint of what you think is going to be spectacular?
Well, it depends because there's 2 sides to it. So if you want pure paranormal, on Saturday, I believe it's at 12 o'clock, we have our panel where we talk, some of my team members will be there too, where we talk all about what an actual paranormal investigator does. We have evidence that we show and everything like that. So that's a really good one. But if you're also on the Warren Legacy side of it and you're into the horror side too, Chris will be there talking about the real stories behind the Conjuring movies and The Nun, and I don't know what other movies he has, but he may talk a little bit about The Haunting of Connecticut, since that was his case. That's my wife. She's over in Brazil right now. There's a lot that they have going on both sides, paranormal and horror. So, and we have, I think Saturday and Sunday, we have a pure paranormal Q&A. So everybody so everybody from the paranormal side will be on it, all of us at once. So you could ask any kind of questions.
I'm sorry, am I seeing hi, Jamie?
Yeah, no, we're man candies. Both are just... I have no idea what the hell that means. I'm just going to say yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Take it.
Hey, yeah, Bill, the Nun one, the one where it's discussing the Nun will actually be on Friday, which is perfect time if someone's wanting to see The Nun too. You may want to hear a little more of the true stories, and that panel is on Friday at 7.
You may not. You may not want to hear it.
Just go and enjoy your movie and don't worry about the actual truth. It might ruin the movie for you. Jeez.
We've got
that
Sean
one
joining us. So
Sean!
as we were discussing, Sean is going to be there on Sunday.
Oh, yes.
Sean's comment.
Charlie can't wait to meet you. I love horror movie puns. They're the best.
I can't wait to actually get to meet people in person that I talk to via email or IMs or something.
Well, Cannibal Comedians have been tearing it up. Joe and I have been paying attention. So I'm so excited for Sean and everybody. And that crew of people, once they hit your con will know they're there.
That sounds perfect.
And that's a perfect way to go on into, ladies and gentlemen, from Black Dog Films and the Harlow's Haunt movie. We have director and writer Terry Jarrell, and we have first AD, actress, and just an amazing woman altogether, Amy Rolfson. So let's bring them up, if I may.
Hello!
Hey guys!
Hey.
So, another movie that is going to be there Saturday at 8 p.m. is Harlow's Haunt, which stars John Dugan, and Amy is the star of that movie. Terry's the writer and director, and let's see, I know I'm missing something. Amy, what am I missing?
All good. No, I'm gonna be there with Terry. I worked with Terry on the project as a first AD and work with him at Black Dog Film, so we just keep the party going.
And Saturday night, 8 p.m., they're gonna have the movie, and then afterwards there's going to be a panel, and I don't know, JW or I are going to be around there doing stuff, and
maybe asking questions, maybe causing trouble.
And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have some fun with everybody.
I did
Shelly knows.
Moderate.
Shelly already knows. Shelly already knows. Shelly goes probably
all I will
booked.
say is the alcohol will be set up probably around a certain time before that movie.
Shelly.
So we might have a
God bless
bit of
you.
people already.
Shelly and I have done our time of hanging out together.
I'm going to be there all weekend. I've got a room there, so somebody's got to let me know where the after parties are if they would. And Mommy Zombie's going to be there too.
Yeah, but you guys have to view it outside.
That's amazing.
No, I'm planning to be there all weekend, so you guys will know when I'm there because I'm gonna be like, Shelly, I'm here.
The other thing is, I don't want to get too drunk because then you stumble into one of Bill's presentations. It's like, oh.
I'm wanting to come to your panel. I just heard it was at 12 o'clock on Saturday, which is when they're premiering the clock. So I'll just have to come harass you at your booth or catch the second panel because I definitely want to check that out.
Oh, Bill's booths are awesome. Bill has all the toys. He has all the super duper toys, and you're just looking at it going, that's thousands of dollars.
I'm into it, so I'm going to be over there picking your brain and
it's a perfect field to be in. You spend thousands of dollars on equipment, and we don't charge anybody for what we do. So it's great.
Yeah. Sounds like
the life of an indie filmmaker.
It sounds like an indie filmmaker or a podcaster or a con chairman.
Hi, Rick.
A film festival person.
Yeah. It's all capital outlay and no.
Hey,
Ashley's going, I don't know. I do a lot of marketing, so I'm good. But so when you go to a con like this, or when this con happens, is it something where you guys are like, when you become that like camaraderie, the brotherhood that you've built over the last 4 years, right? Is it the kind of thing where you keep on, like, you keep coming back for more because of the reactions you're getting? Because like I was saying, I was reading Shelly's stuff earlier, and it was just the outpouring of emotion, and just like, if Shelly's not there, I don't know what I would do without myself, things like that. So I'm just curious, is it easy to come back every year? Anybody can answer.
Yes, it is.
Well, they're doing something
it's more directed to Shelly.
Last year,
I mean,
I'll come back this year.
I'll go first because trust me, we'll have to shut me up to get everyone else to be able to speak. I would say is I just really like I like an atmosphere. I always say it sounds cheesy, but it's about community, and it's not just for me. I love filmmakers. I love being around them. When I took a step back for a little bit from some of my filmmaking stuff, and I realized how much I missed hanging out, even talking to filmmakers. There's one of our filmmakers from last year. He sent me his engagement photos. I see them more. Yes, he sent me the engagement photos. I like
to touch up or to put on display.
No, just to let me know they got engaged.
See them, yeah.
Just that it happened. Amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah, and that's what I like. Even if they're not going to be in my festival this year, I just like seeing what people do. And almost every time, all the filmmakers are the same. They're working hard. They're trying to hustle, and they are great. Like it's easy to be happy and want to do stuff when they've got great people. And then I get to hang out with everyone else outside the filmmaking part that are just fun to hang out with and just, chilled on that regard. But let everyone else speak because that's just me. And I'll talk a lot.
Well, I got another comment I want to pull up if I may real fast. Where'd it go? They're coming fast and furious. So, Amy, you have a double feature going on Saturday?
Crazy, right? Yes. We have The Clock premiering at 12 o'clock noon on Saturday the 16th. That's written and directed by Rick Danford. I had a pleasure of playing the lead role of Sarah in that. It is a really fun supernatural horror feature film. And then at 8 o'clock, we have Harlow's Haunt. So it's going to be a busy day, but I'm excited, and I'm very excited to spend it at Phantasm with you guys. So thank you for having us and showing our movies.
And Kevin Cleveland is in the movie too.
Yeah, and I did want to have a question. Isn't The Clock filmed like parts of it in an actual historic haunted house, or no? Did I misunderstand?
No, you're correct. I know. I was like, dang, where was Bill when we were filming this? That would have been fun. So we shot at a beautiful 100-year-old historic home in the historic district of Brooksville, Florida. So we shot that earlier this year in the spring. And
that's a nope. That's a nope for me. Nope.
So I was pretty much in the zone and very focused. We shot this feature film in 5 days, which is incredible. And we had some of the cast that did experience some different things throughout the time that we spent in this home. We were there, 14, 18-hour days that we were filming. So, Bill can probably chime in on this. I think you need to be open to that to experience it. And I am very open to that, but I was also very focused on my job and what I was doing. So I personally didn't experience anything, but there are some stories that the crew can tell you. But it was a beautiful home, and it definitely has a history to it.
See, when you're doing another film like that, you have to write in an investigator. I could play that role very easy.
Yes. And you never know, there might be The Clock Part 2. We did leave the story open a little bit, so we will keep that in mind, Bill.
Bill's all of a sudden getting typecast. It's rough. It's a rough life.
Whatever works.
35 years.
That's a fantastic story. The idea of filming in an actual haunted place, again, is a nope, but sounds like it's going to be a great movie.
It was really cool. I hope you guys can hang out and watch it on Saturday because we're really proud of it. It's very exciting. We're just getting it out here. This is going to be the first festival that it hits. So you guys come out and hang out with us. We'll be there all weekend and check out The Clock, and then check out 8 o'clock Harlow's Haunt.
Well, you're in definitely good hands with Shelly on that. So.
I know. Shelly lives and breathes the film circuit. I run into Shelly everywhere in Tampa. I run into her at other festivals. I run into her at the theater. I am always running into Shelly. So she loves what she does, and it shows, and that's why she's so great at her job.
And I just want to say, because I feel bad, Terry hasn't gotten. I've been talking on, and I feel like Terry's another filmmaker who I was so glad to meet through the text. It first started with text, I think last year or something, and then just keeping in contact with both him and Amy, and just meeting them and talking to them, and then seeing their stuff even more, and hearing about the stuff that's coming next for both of them. I find that even more awesome. And I've had some great times just talking to both of them, even outside of filming, just fun stories for both. And Terry, I know you're a hustler. You got something to market for everything. So
that's amazing. Terry and I are announcing a film tonight. We're working on a movie together called Behind the White Door. which is yeah.
No, wait a minute. I got some bragging rights here because I was actually on the one of the sets of Harlow's Haunt, and
that's right.
This young lady was actually just spectacular. And let me tell you, we were all sweating our butts off. I mean, look at Terry's shirt. That's John Dugan from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Harlow's.
You guys all look so happy, but Joe never talked about sweating more than this this day. He
was it August? I think it was August.
And he sent me a message.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Was it not August?
May or June, but it was just crazy hot.
He sent me a message like, I went to the set, you would have died.
I think it was June. Like
hey,
mid-June, right when it started amping up in the temperature, and it was hot. And one of the cabins we were filming at Sir Henry's Haunted Trail in Plant City, Florida, they were an incredible host to us for a film location. We had to make one of the cabins look like nighttime, so Terry was out there tarping it off and stapling the tarp, and so there was no airflow coming in or out, and it got hot real quick. But Joe,
come on some investigations. Come on some investigations on abandoned locations with no power, no air, no nothing. That's why I try not to do too much of that in the summer here because
it sounds like every filmmaker or every investigator. No matter what you do, what you plan, somehow June, July, or August, maybe or even May, you somehow get stuck in an enclosed area that basically is a hot box. I think once we filmed in a storage locker area, it just happened to be the hottest time of the year, which is summer in Florida. So I think we just love suffering to get us to that September, October, November time period of hustling.
So it's at that point you're hoping that it is haunted and you get like a cold break.
A lot of cold front coming through.
Just need a cold little ice.
I'm going to stand in this cold spot just for a second.
Yeah, we're not there to chase them away at that point.
Yeah,
I have a question for Ashley because she's on social media marketing right as we're doing the show. It's amazing. She's doing it like second nature. How hard is it to get the word out about a con that's this personal? Like, is it hard or easy?
So, because most of my niche is horror, from the music I listen to the movies I watch, it's easy in the sense of that is the brand that I've kind of built for myself, with my own social media. But with having a convention that people know about locally and having a lineup like we do with, the Night of the Demons 35th anniversary reunion, and we have Sam Todd and Isabel Dulce.
Trick or Treat.
I know from Trick or Treat. Yeah.
Yes, the Trick or Treat kids.
So having that lineup, it's easy because what I typically go for is we live in Orlando. Halloween Horror Nights is literally across the street from our venue. So if you're in the area, it's really easy to make a fun staycation weekend out of a convention like Fantasm, because you can come to us during the day and then head over to Universal. You can walk over from the venue and just kind of make it a staycation weekend, which is something I actually really enjoy doing in Orlando.
Yeah, we brought it up on the last show we were on. That's kind of like pre-gaming, for a football game, pre-gaming for any kind of thing. Got something to do during the day, hang out, get your fill of it, go do it something else, and maybe you'll want to come back. I would say though, for Shelly, one of the harder things for social media for her is when she needs to do something, getting her all the parts to make the posts.
You meant Ashley.
What did I say? Did I say
Shelly?
I said Shelly. That's okay.
I meant Ashley.
I wasn't paying attention though.
I think they're both. Such big parts of the festival.
They're all intertwined in that. Yeah, they're on it.
Everybody's there.
On it. But if Ashley needs something, or I need this picture, I need that, and then she's got to build it. Just getting her all the moving parts together, that could be tricky.
Yeah, I was bothering her a lot.
Time consuming.
You never bother me.
That's what people, they don't always pick up on, is all the little details that go behind producing a con. So everything that you guys are doing it's important work, and there's so many little tiny pieces that have to come together to make everything what it needs to be to have that functioning process in place to run smoothly. So
well, and that's an interesting thing. It's kind of like an indie movie.
I was going to say that same thing. I'm glad we're on the same page.
It's a little bit like an indie movie. Everybody working together, trying to make things work and working it all out.
Yeah.
Amy, last year you guys premiered the Harlow's Haunt trailer at Fantasm, didn't you?
We did, yes.
And
that's when I first met
hit.
Shelly. She was awesome, and she, definitely made us feel like we were home right away. And Joe was there hanging out, and Terry, we had the Harlow's crew there, and that's where we premiered the trailer for the first time. So it's really exciting to come back and show the full feature this year. And that's what's so cool about you guys having the festival attached is, it makes everybody feel like we are a part of Fantasm. And, like we said before, we'll say it a million times, the horror community is so unique and there's so much love, and we all connect in a really special way. So, coming to a con like Fantasm, it brings everybody together. So we're super stoked to come back and show the feature this year.
We're glad to have you.
I have a question for everybody, and it's a silly question, but because I do Generation Movie on the Indie Escape Network, I'm always focused on the classic movies. So if we could just go around and pick one or two movies that shaped you and threw you into this horror con kind of world, like the movies that just, the Indiana Jones factor when you're holding the idol and you're just like, I love these kind of movies. Tony, let's start with you, because you're the owner of the con. You're the person that's setting this all up and bringing it to fruition. What was the horror movie that changed you? What was the one that brought you, said, I am a true horror fan from the get-go?
Probably when I was younger, and I would go up to visit my family in upstate New York. And
where in upstate New York?
Cortland.
Okay, I lived in Monticello and Fallsburg for a good chunk of time.
We're kind of over by Skinny Atlas Lake.
Yeah.
And things like that. So, Homer.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'd go up there, and I'd have to go to my aunt's house when my dad would go to work, and she would watch me, and I would sit and watch HBO. And I probably watched Poltergeist on HBO more than any other movie when I was young. Every time it was on, it seemed like I watched it. I really, really liked that movie, and I really liked Creepshow. And then I got into the Friday the 13th and stuff when I started to watch a little bit more.
Those are two,
which my mom absolutely hated me watching any of that. So, but
Ashley,
I would say Poltergeist.
Poltergeist is a fantastic choice. Ashley, what about you?
So let me start here. What made me dislike horror movies is my dad thought it would be smart to let me watch Child's Play as a 3-year-old. So I grew up terrified of dolls. I hate dolls to this day. I actually didn't even get into horror movies until about 10 years ago when I started doing horror conventions. My go-to is like Night of the Demons, believe it or not. My mom is obsessed with. So I love Night of the Demons. Yep. I love Night of the Demons, Trick or Treat, all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Like, what really does it for me, though, was Pet Sematary. The original Pet Sematary is my hands down favorite movie ever.
There's nothing more terrifying than the sister. Every movie cannot prepare you for that moment when she gets out of the bed and gets right next to the camera. Shelly, you have 2 movies on your wall.
Okay.
What do you love?
Them either. Those aren't the ones I was going to say either.
Oh my God. Okay.
In fact, okay. So first, the one that really introduced me, it's going to be Frank Langella in Dracula. It was shown on Dr. Paul Bearer.
Wow.
And that's what I first saw.
Langella Dracula.
And it was on Dr. Paul Bearer. So that's what first got me into any horror movies. That's the reason I had to later watch a movie and had to get on sleep medicine because I was having too many nightmares in 2nd grade. And then
fantastic.
And then I would say, I love Suspiria because that's just my style. And that was one of the movies that when I was reading Fangoria in high school, you could only find this, like, try and find the bootleg cut and try and find the unlimited. And that was what I liked, which got me to my final movie. And this is going to be crazy to say. What is it? What is it? Oh,
That one.
Guinea pig bouquet of whatever, the one where they shot up. And the reason I bring that one up is the person who showed me that was in a comic book store and got me on more of my underground indie stuff. And that person is the guy, Stephen Biro, who runs the North Film. So he ran the comic book shop or co-owned, and he was showing me when I was 17.
So essentially, he was the guy. He was the guy in the van with candy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Bill, what about you, Bill? Bill, because you're a paranormal investigator. This, what does anything scare you more than real life?
Yeah. Well, back then, yeah. I mean, what the funniest thing is, most horror doesn't. I mean, the only horror movie that really ever scared me when I was young is The Exorcist. Go figure. I don't know how I went from that to what I do now. I'm a demonology specialist, so I'm brought into cases like that. So I don't know how I went from there to there, but when I was young, the two movies that freaked me out the most were The Exorcist and The Fog for some reason. The original Fog.
Carpenter just had a way to do the mood. That's all.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. It can show you nothing, but it's still moody and scary.
Carpenter's movies are all super cheap and super well done, and they all have this interesting political bent. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're all super amazing like that. I just did They Live this weekend. So They Live was back in theater screens for 35th anniversary. So we just did it. Yeah, I love Carpenter stuff.
It's hard to beat the original Halloween for me. I don't know.
Yes, it was the posters on the wall. It's there for the taking. Amy, what about you? What got you into this genre? Was it something where, aside from starring in these movies, but were you always attracted to them?
Yeah, I have my dad to thank for that. He's the reason why I love cinema. He was really into movies, and I probably say this every podcast, but it's just such a fun memory for me every Friday night going to Blockbuster with my dad, and we'd pick out 3 movies for Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. And I was young, but nothing was off limits. I would hop in bed with him, and whatever was on, he'd be like, "Wow, cover your eyes, sweetheart." You gonna watch it. If you get scared, you get scared. But I've always been a Sam Raimi fan, so Evil Dead, and I love practical special effects. I used to want to get into doing special effects. So watching those and how it progressed was always really fun for me. It was spooky and freaky, but I also found it fun. I can remember watching Tales from the Crypt with my brother. I used to love Tales from the Crypt. And probably another one that sticks out to me is Candyman. Candyman was a movie.
The original Candyman,
The original Candyman really freaked me out. So the other things I mentioned were more fun, but Candyman actually scared me.
Yeah, because there's a whole real life kind of feeling to it.
Yeah, can that happen?
An interesting side note. So your dad was not cruel, but your dad was like my dad. My dad ran a movie theater. And that I've been addicted to movies since I was 4. So 70, actually probably 3, 77, anything with Star Wars. But my dad had a funny way of being nice to me. He'd say, "Hey, you can get a new Star Wars figure if you can get through The Howling." I was 7.
Bribery.
It was cruel. It was cruel. The Howling scared the shit out of me when I was 7, as it still scares the shit out of me. The Howling's terrifying.
Hey, at least it wasn't The Howling 2. That would have had a different conversation.
Yeah. Well, that was The Howling 2 was 13 perfect. That was 13 perfect.
Well, I think Terry has a similar story like that. I think he had an uncle that ran a movie theater.
My uncle,
really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was my uncle.
And so he kind of grew up in a movie theater too. And he was watching all the old horror movies. Was it the Hammer movies, Terry?
The Hammer stuff, and Psycho, all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Psycho.
Interesting, you say Hammer, Terry. And I'm a co-host of Generation Movies, so I have to bring it up. We're doing Hammer movies for the month of October. We're on Generation Movie. We're going to do a whole month devoted to Hammer. So we're going to pick a bunch of Hammer movies and do it the whole treatment where we go in and look at how they were made and what happened with them. Probably, Horror of Dracula and Curse of Frankenstein and All the really great Hammer movies.
Looking to watch it for that.
And again, that's exclusively on
the Indie Escape Network. Yeah.
All right, so guys, I got to hit some of these comments, man. We
got a lot.
We do have a lot, except for some reason I'm lagging a little. So Kevin's saying, "Oh, I don't know about that movie."
Suspiria
is an awesome movie, no matter what anyone says. I'll 100% beat everyone down. I will pull out the little bit of Sicilian still in me.
I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole, man.
Yeah, right. I don't know why there's a tiny Sicilian in you.
A quarter Italian.
I don't know why there's a tiny Sicilian in you, but we can discuss that at the festival.
Oh, what else we got? We've got Jaws did something to me as a kid. Later on, Children of the Corn. We just had somebody from Children of the Corn.
Courtney Gaines was on the Indies. Yeah,
it was 2
Courtney
weeks
Gaines,
ago,
who's now a musician, a fantastic musician, actually.
Correct.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and what else we got? Jump scares.
Hey, I don't remember if it was on your show last time that I talked about this, but one of the cool things I had was when I was young, I lived in New Jersey, and I was in the Boy Scouts, and we used to go all the time to Camp Nobi Bosco, which was where they filmed the original, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
It was before they like accepted it. All you saw was the original sign was in the front store, and nobody talked about it. But they
didn't want you to even bring it up.
No, it wasn't even talked about. But
I thought you were going to talk about a different horror movie with Boy Scouts, but I got you, Bill. We're good.
But no, it was fun staying there because, we knew we were kids, and I loved that movie. And we used to, the big thing was who would sneak out of the cabins in the middle of the night and have, the guts to jump in the lake. Because when you go down there at night,
all do things that are no's? These are all no's.
I always did it. See?
No's.
All right, what else we got? We got
Hi,
Dr.
Jeff.
Pallbearer is a blast from the past. Love that show.
So I have a question to tie in paranormal with horror.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Bill, I know it's hard to have a scary movie that you're scared of because real life. But what's the scariest thing you've ever experienced as a paranormal investigator?
You had to go there, didn't you? You had to go there.
I did.
Good question, Ashley.
We were just talking about this.
Yes.
Well, I always tell everybody anything when it comes to demonic cases. I do this to help people, and I don't like to go into those cases, but I do it when I have to. Some of the stuff you see in movies obviously is enhanced for entertainment. But I can tell you a lot of things that go on in some of these cases that are exactly what you see in the theaters. I've seen people levitate off the floor. I've seen things fly across the room. I've been knocked to the floor. There honestly is a level. It is rare. It's not something that happens as much as the TV shows, convince you of. But it is something there. And the guy next to me on my first ever case got full on attacked. He had scratches from his neck to his spine, that were bleeding. And this was back in 1989. So it wasn't something that people were trying to do for TikTok and Instagram. And, it was full on real. And it will haunt you.
Are people doing things for TikTok?
Yes, with fishing line.
Okay.
Fishing lines. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
You use the fishing line, so you're just flies off the table and everything flies off, or chairs slide across the floor.
Okay.
This
is
the
one I've seen recently was the knife flying out of a chopping block. I've seen that.
Yes.
Let me tell you, this is the easiest thing I tell people when it comes to TikTok videos. When you see these people with their phone standing there like this, going, "Look at my door," and the door is opening and closing. Bullshit. They would be running so fast out of the house. They would not be filming that. Maybe I would.
Their
not. Yeah, they would not.
Again,
Definitely.
These are no's. I have to go now. I'm sorry. This house is haunted. It's been a real pleasure being here. I gotta go.
Your phone would be dropped on the ground. Mine be tossed.
I'd be gone.
I'd be three.
Look, I'm a big guy. Who's gonna weigh me down? I gotta go.
Yeah.
After 35 years, I would probably film it, but Most people would run the hell out of their house. That one, if you've ever seen where the guy comes around the corner in his living room and his little girl is standing there or sitting in front of the TV like Poltergeist, and there's a hand coming out of the TV and then it disappears and he goes there and there's nothing there. Come on. His reaction was just like, what's going on? I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
Honey, the TV isn't 3D. What? Nothing.
Yeah.
I've got a few more comments to hit. And you know what? Not for nothing. I was scared of this in the 70s as well. When Lou Ferrigno started hulking out, or it was, that kind of freaked me out as a kid.
No, far more scary was Andre the Giant as Bigfoot.
Bigfoot and the $6 million man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Andre was awesome.
Well, I think the thing about that did it with the Hulk was the high piercing shrieking behind when he changed. That noise all on top, the contacts.
What about
Jaws on the list?
Let's see.
Kiss meets Phantom of the Park.
Scary for different reasons.
I love that movie.
How about for just a wacky, great pick? The Phantom of the Paradise is one of the most underrated.
I love that movie. I have this.
So good.
I have it as soon as they release that. I bought that. If I ever can go up to that Canada, because when they still show it one of these days, that's on my list. I love that soundtrack.
There you go.
I loved One
Shelly
Dark
and I
Night.
are going to be quick friends, Joe.
We are.
Shelly and I are going to be quick friends.
One Dark Night was a great movie.
Yeah.
Yes,
I remember watching that on like Night Flight or something like that when it first came out.
Night Flight. Holy crap.
Yeah, man.
USA Network.
USA Up All Night.
USA Up All Night. Yeah.
Commander USA.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Rhonda
You've seen Rhonda over at she's been at
Tony, just so we clarify, anytime we mention this, all the younger people tune out, and the four of us look really, five of us look really old.
Yeah.
Up All Night. What the fuck are people talking about?
You change it up and say Rhonda. She sells underwear now on Home Shopping Network or QVC, whatever.
She was supposed to be on our network about 2 years ago, and then there was just a timing conflict, and I was so pissed off. We were going back and forth with her agent. And,
she's really nice. Really
no,
nice.
I'm just sitting over here thinking of other freaky movies. Did you guys ever see the original When a Stranger Calls?
Oh yeah,
yes.
The ventriloquist. That's another movie that
Are you talking about Magic?
terrified me, but I wanted to watch it over and over and over again. They remade it and it wasn't the same, but I love the original one.
How about this one? I'm going to bring. I bet you Tony like. Have any of you guys ever seen a movie called Fade to Black?
Oh yeah, I think I just got the new release in the last couple of years from.
Fade to Black is a great movie. If you're a film fan, Fade to Black is a great movie because the character is a little bit bipolar, and he becomes all the different characters in all the great 30s and 40s horror films and stuff.
Oh my god,
great stuff.
And it's just been restored recently because they
yes,
I am the physical media person as well, but they released.
That's okay. You can look back, Shelly. All my physical media is back there too.
Oh, mine's in a whole room, one room.
I get one room. This is it. I get a closet. I have a wife, so
the original Witchboard.
Oh yes,
with Tawny Katayan.
Yeah. That one, yeah.
Hey, wait! You forgot about Patch from Days of Our Lives as well.
That's right, Steve Patch from Days. My sister had a crush on him. Him and Bo from Days of Our Lives. So I had to hear all about that. Yes, Patch is in this movie.
I do want to bring up. Ashley's brought it up a couple times, but you guys have Night of the Demons reunion. You also have a 15th anniversary Trick or Treat reunion. Trick or Treat, and I was talking to Joe about this. I feel Trick or Treat is one of the most underrated movies. And as somebody who ran a movie theater when it was playing, it did not get any of the credit it deserved because it came out. It was actually forced out of major circulation because of the Saw franchise. So Saw was dominating holidays. And basically every year they would release a Saw movie. And Trick or Treat, Warner Brothers pushed it back and got it out of like a Halloween circulation because they ran New Line at the same time. So I'm so excited that the Trick or Treat people, you have Trick or Treat people coming because it's one of my all-time favoritist.
Me too.
Favoritist? Is that favoritist? Is that a word? It's one of my all-time favorite.
Favoritist is a word.
favorite is
I got to say something to Otis real fast. That's Kristen Alfonso, and yes, I agree. She's gorgeous. She was in a movie with what was it, Dolph Lundgren, I think, in the late '80s as well, or Dolph Lundgren.
She was also on Falcon Crest with Lorenzo Lamas. I'm just wealth of useless.
Renegade, Lorenzo Lamas.
Shelly, I feel would be a great person to have on your team if you were playing, I don't know, Trivial Pursuit.
Absolutely.
Random info that's not needed.
She's a great person to have on your team no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, no matter what you're doing. Exactly. There you go. Amy knows.
Let's see. What do we have with the old BBC?
Speaking of Trick or Treat, because I feel like I agree. I believe it's really underrated.
One of my daughter's favorites. She loves it.
Oh my God! Yes, the candy cane. Or
it lives on my desk. I used to cosplay Sam when I worked at a Halloween bar downtown. He was my favorite.
If you look back here, I have my NECA, Sam. My NECA Sam is right back here.
I usually have my 4-foot Sam behind me, but I've been moving things around, getting ready for the convention, and I moved him.
I love Sam. He just wants to protect Halloween.
My daughter loves him too. She loves that Sam. She watches it all the time.
Yeah, that was like hands down my favorite Halloween Horror Nights house in the last 10 years.
Yes,
it's incredible.
The Scare Zone was great.
Mm-hmm. Well, my daughter also, the DVD has the little short that he did, the little animated short, which is the creepiest friggin' thing. That is something that would have been on Night Flight or something like that. Just a little.
It would have been a commercial break.
It would have been a commercial break.
The second movie, isn't it supposed to be like the short?
The second movie. What I'm hearing about the second movie, because that's something I work on, Ashley. Like I'm plugged into that stuff. I'm hearing about the second movie is it's going to be an anthology again. There could be animated sequences, and they don't know when they're going to release it because they're still working on making sure they don't want to screw it up. As the direct thing you read, they're like they feel like everybody really loves the original so much, and they don't want to do a cash grab sequel and totally screw it up. Which, when you hear that from people, you're like, that's great. Don't screw it up.
Yeah.
Make it the best it can possibly be.
Yeah.
And they've been doing stuff before this even. They've been doing the comic book, I think they did, or for a little bit a while back.
It's a great get, though, for the con, though.
Yeah.
Joe will tell you, the moment I realized I've put out some things. We have another show coming up next week, and maybe you can help us, Ashley. We have another show coming up. Another Path to Phantasm show. I have put out a nice feelers.
And Nick Benson are going to be on next week. So if anybody wants to join next week,
but I also put out.
What day is that?
Next Tuesday night.
Same day, same time.
I'm on that one.
I'll be on a plane.
We hung out with Nick and Mick last year at Phantasm.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm on, right?
Yeah, you're on. You always show up with us. We love having you. I actually sent out a thing to Sam Todd on Instagram, like saying,
I actually had to look who was talking. I didn't realize who was talking. It was Bill. Yes, that's the one you're. No, I'm sorry. This gets a little confusing with so many people sometimes.
There's so many boxes. You're just
my screen is full of people. I don't think we could have any more people on.
We can literally have 2 more, but hey, who's counting?
We don't judge. We just try to have a good time.
Exactly. So I know I wanted to bring up something. So
Sam Todd.
There they are.
That's Monster Manor.
Be awesome. They're awesome too.
Yes.
So tell us how you guys got involved with Monster Manor.
How did we get involved with them?
Yes.
Reaching out. I was at a Books a Million, and I ran into one of Scott's teachers or mentors who was an effects artist, and I had talked to him about it. And then I had met Scott through another friend, Dean, and just they wanted to work with us, and they just said, hey, let's partner up. They're great people. They're so nice, and their show is very it's personal too. He does a lot of research and things like that. So when he talks to, does his interviews and things like that, he does quite the in-depth research and doesn't just hit the main bullet points. He digs deep.
Well, he's I mean, you can tell.
A monster kid.
Scott's a monster kid, a fan. He's just like the rest of us. We all love these fun little quirky things. And when you're passionate about it, it's really easy. And then not to segue against from Scott from Monster Manor, but have to get some props for Boris. Boris is our little guy. Well, not little.
Little guy.
He got a big personality, match everything in the room in the convention. So what Boris does is, if you haven't met Boris or seen Boris, he's very much of that creature feature, Dr. Pallbearer, in that vein of that fun kind of vibe. Compliments so much. Friday night, we're having a Boris doing, I don't even know how to explain this. Yes, the bars will be set up, but 7 p.m. on Friday night, Boris will be doing his own version of an MST3K style interaction with
mystery science. Oh, nice.
Is that our pajama party, Shelly?
Yes, that will also be part of the Friday night in the film festival room pajama parties, where I, as well as my crew and whoever else would like to, can wear their pajamas. I have a Nightmare Before Christmas onesie already ready to be washed. Actually, it's been washed, already to be cleaned and ready for that.
They don't have onesies my size.
Well, you can wear your
anyway.
You can wear a flannel PJ bottoms or Batman
quick question. I know we talked about Harlow's Haunt had the trailer premiere.
Jamie.
Harlow's Haunt is now premiering at the festival. Also, Amy, I hear rumors that maybe the Harlow's Haunt Blu-ray might be available at the convention. Any truth or date?
Not only that, man, we have the premiere of the cover of the Blu-ray, which is absolutely freaking
I feel like
gorgeous.
we're doing a show together. This is amazing.
It is amazing. Look at that.
What do you think?
That
oh
is
my god,
beautiful.
It looks
I'm
nice,
so
man.
excited to see that.
Super
That's
nice.
so awesome.
Yeah, this is the brand new artwork from Bayview Entertainment. So this is the first time we're showing it. And they did an incredible job. They really captured the story and the essence of the characters. And we have a pre-release, a limited amount of Blu-ray DVDs from Bayview Entertainment that we're exclusively selling only at Fantasm. So we're going to have these at the Florida HorrorCon table on Friday the 15th. Myself and Dylan and Giago, who plays Ben in Harlow's Haunt, will be at the table all day. So come by. We have posters with a new artwork on it. The DVDs are going to be $25 each. And we're also going to be signing and selling them as well on Saturday the 16th after we screen Harlow's Haunt after the 8 o'clock showing. Make sure to stop by.
Wait. Terry, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. There you go.
I don't know. It's hard to see it.
And here's Vanna White showing off.
Vanna White.
And then you may have some of these sort of things.
Oh, wow. No, wait a minute. Terry, I need one of those signed by everybody. I have the older poster signed. I'm going to need one of those, please.
Gotta have one of those.
Absolutely. And if you guys that want to come by and get posters, come find me. I've got them for you. But yes, we're only selling them at Phantasm, where, we are being distributed by Bayview Entertainment. So our release of the film is going to be in October when it hits streaming platforms. And then they're releasing the Blu-ray DVDs after that. So this is kind of a special opportunity for us to celebrate Harlow's Haunt and have a special pre-release at Phantasm.
Very cool. That is amazing.
Fun stuff.
I'm still looking
guys,
this is
it's
gonna be so much
11:04
fun.
p.m. We gotta start
It's so
wrapping
much
this up
fun.
because we gotta make sure everybody comes next week.
Right.
Same bat time, same bat channel. We're gonna have Nick Benson, special effects maestro. I mean, I'm drawing a blank on his movies right now. That's really bad. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Society.
Night of the
Demons.
Demons.
Jesus Christ.
Night of the Demons.
That's
If you
a
haven't
good
seen
movie.
Society, oh, that's a treat. You
Yeah.
gotta go see Society.
If anyone wants it, I'm the same person, physical
Yep.
media. I got the new restoration. So if you want to see it in all its glory, very close up.
Party at
Shelly-
Shelly's house.
Shelly and I are just going to be in a closet at Phantasm, just watching old movies on actual media.
You're gonna be like Joaquin Phoenix in Signs. You're gonna be in the closet watching the little
exactly
crappy tube TV.
It's like at the end of Bachelor Party. Ooh, small theater, and it's just like
Society.
I was actually watching Dead Heat, which he worked on as well the other day with my son. I introduced him to that because I love that movie too. So
Dead Heat's such a good movie.
And I remember, and I was texting him, and I just said, "Hey, I'm watching Dead Heat with my son, introducing him to it." And right when I look up is when Treat Williams shuts the medicine cabinet, and the skeleton jumps out at him, and I just happened to look up, and I scared the shit out of myself watching
Dead Heat and Dead and Buried would be a great double feature. Dead and Buried too. Great ending. But yeah, I mean, everything, all these people working so hard to make a great con. Everybody should come out. Everybody should visit everybody, meet everybody. Because that's one of the great things about this con. You were telling me about it last year, Joe. Getting there, you get to actually meet people. It's not like somewhere where people are hidden behind stages or doors or whatever. And I'm looking forward. I can't wait. It's my first experience coming to Fantasm.
What did I get from there last year? Last year, I've got
skateboard. The skateboard.
Hey, that's a skate deck that was hand painted by Nick Benson.
It's beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
Would you ever use it though?
No, it's in my background.
Never.
No, I understand it, but you kind of almost have to at least put wheels on it so it looks. Good.
No, I'm not putting trucks or anything on it.
Wheels would be great. Like if they were little red and green wheels.
Red and green wheels, yeah.
That would be
my
cute.
God, that'd be amazing.
Yes, I'm not saying to use it, just to display it.
And then, of course, the Harlow's Haunt poster. That's the original poster with all these signatures on it. Guys, make sure you go out to Fantasm next week. Not this weekend, next weekend in Orlando.
Next weekend.
Yes. So we're going to start signing off.
Okay.
Un momento. Oh, wow. Love that. Yeah. It's great.
Nice.
I'm lagging a little on these comments when I'm pulling them up. I don't know. I think it's just like
we have a full house and everybody's chatty. Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
It is nice. All right. So Amy and Terry, talk to us. Where can we find you guys on social media and the whole 9 yards? Amy, I need you to plug, please, if you would. Obviously, Florida Horror Con and The Clock and Harlow's Haunt, please.
Plug them all. Yeah, so you can find Harlow's Haunt, just everything at Harlow's Haunt. We have a very active group on Facebook, Harlow's Haunt Movie. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, but most active on Facebook. You can also follow The Clock on all of the socials. You can find Florida Horror Con on Facebook. We have active groups on there as well where you can be a part of the community. Let us know what you're looking for. And also Indie Horror Junkie. If you are an indie artist, an indie horror artist, we would love to promote you. All of our handles are Indie Horror Junkie. And I just want to say thank you to Tony and Shelly for hosting Harlow's Haunt and Florida Horror Con. We're so excited that you guys are so welcoming to us, and we would love to have you come to our con next year whenever we launch it, September of 2024. Because we're all about the horror community and celebrating and promoting everybody's incredible hard work and the Central Florida community when it comes to conventions and movies and everything that we love. So thank you guys so much for having us tonight and for hosting us. And we cannot wait to come and hang out and party with you guys at Fantasm. Come out. It is going to be September 15th, 16th, and 17th. You can find us at our booth. You can find us at the film festival and come see the celebrities and all the fun that we're having. Check out the paranormal panels, and the list goes on and on. I'll see you guys there.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Terry, sir, we're going to see you there as well, correct?
Yeah, can't stand to be there. And what Amy said, she took words out of my mouth.
Thank you very much.
Party.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, guys, we will see you there. I'm going to drop
Thanks for having
you guys
us.
down. Please.
Thank you for having us.
Stick around. No. You guys aren't off the hook yet. You guys got to do your socials. So wait a second. Be patient with me. I'm new at this.
No, you're not. You're a liar.
You're a pro at this.
Terry and Amy, I'm going to drop you guys down. Thank you again.
Guys.
Please stick around for a few moments. Thanks, guys. All right. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Bill.
Yes. I'm easy. You can find me at billslevin.com. Also, my team is PERSFL.com. All my social media is at Slevin Paranormal. Definitely come to Fantasm. I'm going to be there with my booth all weekend, my equipment, panels. We have Chris McKennell, Joe Frankie, Heather Lee, Connie Coing. We have a lot of paranormal stuff going on, and come by, talk to us. And if you've been there to see me at any of these, I'll talk all day with you guys.
Nice, yes. And no, we had a great time with Bill at a PopCon, and I mean, very personable gentleman and great stories and awesome stuff at his table. Thank you, Bill.
Look forward to seeing Bill.
See you next week.
Yes, thank you.
Good night. Stick around. All right, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Ashley,
hey, Mo!
You are next because you got some fun stuff coming up.
I do, yeah. So for Phantasm, I did post a link in the chat for anybody who's wanting to come hang out. Please come hang out with us. It's going to be an amazing show. Like we said, even if you just pregame with us before you go over to Horror Nights, like totally worth it. We have Linnea Quigley, Amelia Kincaid, the biggest Night of the Demons reunion in the state of Florida. So come hang out with us. My socials are Ashley_Draven. I'm actually going to Salem this weekend. So if you want extra fun stuff before Phantasm, be sure to follow me. But yeah, that's all I got.
Nice.
You have fun in Salem.
That was funny. Stay away from the witches. What do you know? No, stay away.
Yeah. All right.
It's my first time going up there, so I'm actually going up there for a convention.
Please be careful. Just
have a great time.
We want to see you in a week.
Be safe. Yeah, be safe. Be good. Have fun.
All right. Thank you, Ashley. And stick around for a moment if you would, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Shelly.
Shelly. Hey,
we're coming to get you, Shelly. Coming to get
Isn't that always the case? You guys have to worry more about the reverse way. I'm going to come and get you. Obviously, Shock Reel Cinema is our Instagram, but we also have a Facebook as well. Obviously, and we also that's our Film Freeway. Not that you would be submitting anything right now, but
I'm sorry. That's the one she sent me. It's her fault. I'm blaming her. That's
okay. It's okay, but there's gonna be one next year, so it's a perfect thing to have.
Yeah, but there's a link from it on that to our social media, but it's also Shock Reel Cinema is our Instagram, and I believe our blah blah blah. Facebook is can you tell it's that time? Facebook is under Shock Reel Cinema Film Festival as well. We look forward to seeing everyone, and even though we didn't get to talk about it, we have bands, we have burlesque, we have Rocky Horror Picture Show with a shadow cast showing on the weekend. We have belly dancing. So these are just some of the little entertaining things I didn't even get to bring up on this podcast. But outside the film festival, which we love, there's also those. But just
wait a minute, JW.
Yes.
How do you and I get in on this belly dancing thing?
No, nobody would want to see that, Joe. I'm going to speak for most of America and most of Florida, all of Florida, and just say no. But I will say the most interesting thing about meeting Shelly tonight is that sometimes my mind goes faster than my mouth too. So I feel like
we're on the same page.
We're simpatico. We got it.
Yeah, definitly. Thanks,
Shelly. Thank you very much for
joining
us.
Thank you so much, Shelly.
We hope to have you next week if you're available.
Why not? I don't have to work until 7 a.m. usually.
Yeah,
wow. Okay. Well,
let's get her out of here.
No, it's okay. Corporate America jobs, you know how they go.
I do, unfortunately. We'll see you in a moment in the green
room. Have a good night.
Thank you. So, Tony, that leaves the three of us.
That's just us.
It's just us, man.
Plug away. Tony.
Yep. Facebook's Fantasm Orlando on Facebook, and we have a Fantasm official group as well. So if you wanted to join in on that and chat amongst the people that come and the attendees, that's the group for there. Phantasm Orlando on Instagram, and phantasmofficial.com is the website. So, and like I said, the girls gave their individual socials out for the film festival and things like that. So we hope to see you in a week and change.
So
I didn't notice the poster, Tony. Awesome choice.
That was
an amazing choice, Tony.
That was our big reunion on year one. We had Linnea Quigley, we had John Philbin, we had the late Clu Gulager was there.
Oh, he was such a good actor.
He was such a great, true cowboy. We had everybody. I think we didn't have Alan Troutman. He had a prior commitment, and we didn't have Tom Matthews, who also had a prior commitment. But we had everybody else that was living. So
I'm so excited. My first time coming to your con. I am looking so forward to meeting you and everybody that's associated with it. Nothing but professionalism. Everything we've seen. I am so stoked.
Glad you're coming.
I gotta ask.
You have a great time.
Tony, yes, the shirt, are those going to be available?
Yes, they are. These are our standard Phantasm just logo shirts, and we also have the shirt that you saw for the Night of the Demons reunion as our special shirt. So those will be available as well as posters and pins and things like that. So
that is amazing. Yep. Tony, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully we'll see you next week as well. We'll catch you in the green room in a moment.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And then there were two.
JW. That was freaking amazing, brother.
Yeah. You know what? When you put a good bunch of people in a room together, whether it be live or on the internet, the interwebs, the webernet, it makes for a good time. And then, what I'm thinking is going to happen is when we get to this Phantasm, it is going to be like this. If you enjoy watching this show, it's just going to be better because there's going to be movies and belly dancing and all that other burlesque and all that other stuff going on. But also all these people that you've met here tonight on our show are going to just be talking to people and there. And it's going to be physical. You're going to be able to talk to them and say hi. I'm super stoked. I'm so excited we're going. It's going to be amazing, Joe.
I agree 100%. What do you have coming up next Monday?
Okay, so Generation movie. Well, first off, last night, for anybody who missed last night's episode, I am going to tell you should go out of your way to watch it. Last night on Generation movie, we had a special edition. We had a bunch of millennial 20-somethings and early 30-somethings who had never seen the movie Porky's. We had done Porky's earlier as part of the Raw Cinema. We had people on who had never seen it. They watched it at a dinner party, which I think is one of the most interesting things ever, a dinner party for Porky's. And I really encourage you to go and watch it because it's a really cool social experiment.
You got to explain it properly. It was the millennials and then you and Rich, the Gen Xers.
Yeah, well, yes, but it was also just this really interesting social experiment.
It was.
The idea that people the movies that you and I grew up with, or the movies that me and Rich grew up with, are not necessarily the movies that are the touchstones for other generations, and right. The same goes for people going to Phantasm. So I encourage that. Next week we have the amazing Just One of the Guys, which is one of the great 80s films. It's about a girl who goes undercover as a guy to write a paper story. To try a newspaper story, oddly enough, because newspapers are going out of business, Joe. So it's really going to be an out of touch thing for people. But basically, she goes undercover, and it's just one of the great 80s movies because it's a love story, but it's also a comedy, and it's a little dirty, it's fun, and it's just an amazing movie with Joyce Heiser. And if you have never seen it, I encourage you to watch it before next week.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please go to the Indie Escape Network.
Subscribe.
Yes, please like and subscribe on our socials. Watch all our shows. Check us out on IMDb as well. On that note,
that's amazing. I can't believe it's over already.
Right?
It's quick, fast.
It was quick.
It's in the ether. It's gone. We have to move on to the next show, and then we have to get ready for the convention, Joe. Who the hell are we going to talk to? It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing. On that note,
ladies
and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Everybody have
Good night,
a great
everybody.
evening.
Bye.